Hello YouTube, Ultra Maximus here with another review. This time it's going to be a 2D to 3D render review of the Blu-ray Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. This is a 2-disc special edition. They're all special editions today, aren't they? So open it up. Here are the 2 discs that we get inside of it. Now, this is a high-def copy. I was real excited to get it because it's the first Indiana Jones in Blu-ray. The rest of the set is coming to Blu-ray eventually here soon this year, I believe. I believe it's got the same stuff on it that the standard DVD edition has. All high-definition stuff. Trailers in high-def, pre-production featurettes in high-def, Return of the Legend featurettes in HD. Just about everything else on the second disc. The production diaries, warrior makeup feature, the Crystal Skulls doco, icon props, all that stuff's in HD except for like art department photography, production photographs, portraits, behind the scenes photos, things like that. So, yeah. Pretty decent. It's funny, on disc 1 it says everything's in HD except for the timeline and the feature film, which is kind of interesting. It is in Blu-ray, it is in HD. I want to talk about the movie a little bit. I'm sure most people have seen this. I did pick this movie up at half-price books for $20. I believe it's normally $29.99, brand new, so I picked this one up a little bit cheaper. The set was in fantastic condition. Talk about the movie a little bit. Indiana Jones, this is the 4th one. I believe Harrison Ford kind of really pushed this one. I know in some of the documentaries, Spielberg has mentioned that he was the last one to come aboard. Originally, it was going to be titled Indiana Jones and the Saucer Men, obviously set in the 50s. Harrison's a little too old to be doing the 40s stuff again, so they had to advance it a little bit, which is fine. I like the 50s. It's got a nice feel to it. The opening scenes have some old school hot rod chasing some 50s Armies guys. The whole Cold War beginning thing, the terror of the commies. A lot of people were really worried about this film. I actually saw this in the theater, and I like it. It's one of my more favorites of the Jones films, I think. I think Shia LaBeouf did a pretty decent job. I like how they brought Marion Ravenwood back in the film. That was a great touch. Kate Blanchett as the Russian bad gal did a great job. I really think she's an actress that's out of her time. She should have been back with Hepburn and I think Bogart, and she's got that feel of those style of actors, and she was perfectly cast for this film, I believe. It's a pretty good romp. A lot of people didn't like it because they were dealing with spacemen, and or as they call them, intradimensional beings at the end of the film. And Spielberg said he did that because there was another movie at the time coming out with aliens, and they didn't really want to get into any kind of conflict with that. And for the life of me, I can't remember which film it was. The aliens are resemble the ones from Close Encounters, Spielberg's alien film. At the end of the movie, they kind of look like the little tall ones that you see at the end of Close Encounters. And when the spaceship at the end takes off, it looks a lot like those old spaceships, and the music, I believe, is similar, if not the theme song in the credits for Close Encounters. So I'm going to have to go back and look at that. If anybody knows, for sure, let me know. But I'm pretty positive that was it. A lot of people didn't like this because oh, it's Hooky, the spaceman. You know, they're dealing with spacemen, and to my argument on that, look back at the other films. Okay, so spacemen are a lot hokier than the Ark of the Covenant and a ghost coming out and melting people, and the only way that you can save yourself is by closing your eyes. That's not hokey. No, no, no. And then with the second film, Temple of Doom, some of everybody's favorite movie, you know, it's dark and it's great, and there's magic rocks that they're going after, and a guy can take his hand and put it in your chest and rip your heart out while it's still beating. That's not hokey. No, no, not at all. Wait, we got the third one. That's obviously not a hokey one. They're going after the Holy Grail, the Cup of Christ, because when you drink from it, you're immortal if you stay in a circle. But yeah, that's not hokey either. No. So this has to be the hokiest one, because, you know, the other ones could happen. Really, they could. So, whatever. It's a great film. It's a fun adventure. It's nice to see Harrison Ford back as Indiana Jones. The Blu-ray 2D version of this, fantastic. Great colors. The scenes are amazing. It's extremely brilliant looking. The landscapes are just utterly amazing. Some of the scenes with like the waterfalls and they're chasing through the jeeps and going over, I mean, those scenes just look spectacular. The uniforms on the military guys in the beginning are just amazing. Nice little Easter eggs in the film that I enjoyed was as they're in Area 51 crashing through the warehouse, they break open a box that contains the Ark of the Covenant. In the school, as Jones is teaching, on the blackboard, it looks like there are the stones from Temple of Doom drawn up onto the blackboard itself. And, of course, there's the nods to the actors that passed away that helped Indiana Jones. His painting, the statue, things like that. His father's picture in his office. The other Easter egg, I think, another one that I believe is a little harder to find, is when they're in his house and they're sitting on the couch and talking, there's a statue behind Jones that they're two clay figures that look like they're clasping onto the Holy Grail. So I'm not sure if I'm presuming that's what that's supposed to be. And of course the Star Wars reference, as there always is some Star Wars reference in an Indiana Jones film. It took me 2 times to see it, and someone brought it up at the end of the film where they're sitting in the temple and they put the crystal skull back on. Harrison Ford says, "I've got a bad feeling about this." That line, of course, spoken by Han Solo. So that's the Star Wars reference. It wasn't a visual reference, but it was a script reference, which was kind of nice. Great 2D, high def. If you've got a regular high def Blu-ray player, great DVD. It's a must. The rendering, I watched this, first I watched it in 2D, then I watched it in 3D. So I rendered it from 2D to 3D. And I got to tell you, probably one of the better renders that I've done so far. Straight out of the gate, it's amazing. The depth in the film. And I've said this before, that when you render a 2D high-def signal into 3D, you get all kinds of depth. You've got, like, there are obviously 3 different layers when you're watching these films. The 4-layer that I call it kind of looks like, well, that's when things are popping out and kind of going at you. Then you've got your mid layer, which kind of resolves itself right there on the main screen. That's where it lives. And then you've got the depth, the background layer. And most renders go from the screen back. So a lot of outside scenes, a lot of nature shows, landscapes, those look very, very good rendered. This movie, same scenario. We've got a lot of great outdoor scenes. The opening scene where they're racing, it just looked really spectacular. The scenes in the warehouse where it just kind of keeps going and going, that looked so spectacular. Now, the nice thing about this, there are a lot of scenes that kind of pop off the screen a little bit and kind of give it that extra 3D look. And probably one of the better scenes, a few scenes. The scenes in the warehouse are spectacular rendered. Totally changes the look of the film, the depth of the film. You see the way the soldiers are positioned. And my personal favorite out of the film was when he's sitting at his desk and he's talking about losing his father and talking to the dean of the school. The pictures sitting on top of the desk itself look like they're hovering right. I mean, there's such great 3D depth right there with that scene. The scenes with the waterfalls at the end are amazing looking. You know, inside the temple, and just fantastic looking. The CG stuff obviously looks pretty good, but again, I think some of the best scenes are really kind of smaller scenes, like with Mutt driving down the train station on the bike. That's got a really good depth to it. And again, my favorite's the scene with the pictures. It just looks really, really great. Very good render. Worked out very well. Glad I got this disc. I look forward to the other Indiana Jones movies coming out onto Blu-ray. That's going to be a lot of fun. So, Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Absolutely great film. Looks fantastic on Blu-ray. It renders very well from 2D to 3D. So if you have a 3D television and you don't have this one, and it's a television that can render from 2D to 3D, highly recommend getting this one and sit down and watch it in the 3D. Very good stuff. So, Jones and the Crystal Skull, good job. And that's all I've got for this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to talking to you again. Thanks for watching.